Many in the access control industry have a long and comfortable relationship with PROX readers and credentials. They like the easy install of the readers and simple issuance of the credentials. Often at HID we are asked, why would I change from something that just works? The purpose of this video is to answer that question. When this video is complete, the viewer will understand that iCLASS provides greatly enhanced security and utility while providing the identical installation as PROX. The readers are installed and the credentials are issued identically. The price is comparable and migration from PROX to iCLASS can be seamless. A PROX reader is normally connected to a controller with from 4 to 6 wires using a topology known as Wiegand protocol. Wiegand protocol has 4 essential wires, 2 for power and 2 for data. Other wires may be connected to furnish LED, beeper, or parking control. Shown here is a typical PROX card. Within this card is a small chip and antenna. The chip is only the size of a portion of your fingernail. By making the antenna smaller, the credential can take other forms, such as a tag, key fob, or printable ISO card. Stored within this chip is a short binary expression known as a format. It is the format that provides the identity of the cardholder. The reader is constantly putting out low-frequency, low-energy bursts 10 times per second. When the credential gets close enough to the reader, this energy will power the chip within the credential and the credential will send the format to the reader. The reader will convert the RF signal into Wiegand protocol and send the format to the controller, which will then make a decision whether or not to unlock the door. This technology has been working well for decades now, and that is part of the problem. Since the advent of PROX, the Internet has emerged, and with it a lot of people who enjoy discussing how best to circumvent security. Shown here is an early example of a credential cloning device. This device is capable of recording the information off of a credential and playing it back at a later time. Shown here is a more commercial version. There are only 2 buttons on the device, and it makes sense that one is likely for reading cards while the other will create the duplicate. PROX is vulnerable for a simple reason. Information only travels in one direction, from the credential to the reader. As a result, the transaction is identical every time. iCLASS readers install identically as PROX readers using Wiegand protocol if desired. The credentials are available in the same forms as PROX credentials. Just like with PROX, the format resides within the chip on the card, but there is a difference. iCLASS communicates on a higher frequency, which enables bidirectional and faster communication. This enables the format to be secured. Like PROX, the iCLASS credential is powered by the reader. With iCLASS, however, when the credential is presented, a dialogue takes place between the credential and reader known as mutual authentication. It is called mutual authentication because the reader authenticates the credential and the credential authenticates the reader. This process takes about 1/10 of a second, and when completed satisfactorily, the format travels to the reader over RF and to the controller using Wiegand protocol. iCLASS security is transparent and requires no configuration. Credentials are issued identically and the controller is configured no differently than if it were connected to a PROX reader. It is important to understand the relationship between technologies and formats. A technology such as PROX or iCLASS is the method by which data travels between credential and reader. Format refers to how the binary expression is arranged. I have personally purchased the Sgt. Pepper's album a minimum of 5 times. I've gotten it on vinyl, 8-track, cassette, CD, and most recently purchased it virtually through iTunes. This is analogous to the different technologies of access control. Here we see Wiegand, PROX, MyFair, iCLASS, and what is coming, the virtual technology that will reside on your cell phone. The 26-bit Wiegand format known as H10301 can reside on all these technologies. So too can the 37-bit H10302, 37-bit H10304, or the 35-bit Corporate 1000. Most formats can reside on most technologies. It would be worth it to migrate to iCLASS simply for the upgrade in security that we just looked at. Another equally compelling reason is iCLASS utility. Because information travels in both directions between reader and credential securely, and because credentials can store information, iCLASS credentials have the ability to operate as a distributed network and database. A great example is the biometric application. Using an iCLASS card in this application, we can temporarily configure our BioClass reader as an enrollment reader. The user presents their finger to the reader, which will securely write the user's fingerprint information to the credential. This biometric information is known as the template. When the user wants to attain access at a different entry, they present the credential at that location and will be prompted to present their finger. After doing so, that second reader will compare the finger presented to the template stored on the credential. If there is a match, there is a presumption that the person enrolled is the same person presenting the credential. The reader will then send the format to the controller, which will determine if access should be granted. This concept provides two-factor authentication. The credential has become both the network and the database. The match that takes place between finger and template is a one-to-one match. This method of template storage is infinitely scalable and can be applied to all types of biometrics. There are dozens of applications that may reside on an iCLASS credential. iCLASS credentials are used in point-of-sale applications, which permit purchases to be made at offline locations such as vending machines. The secure printing application allows for sensitive documents to be sent to printers and only released upon presentation of a physical credential. Check the Partners tab on the HID Global site for an extensive overview of what can be done with iCLASS. Multi-technology cards are available that make transitioning to iCLASS seamless. Within this card are 2 chips and 2 antennas, which allow the card to be used at both the readers you are migrating from and to. Multi-technology readers are also available that can communicate with diverse types of credentials. There are multi-technology readers that can read magstripe cards. The newest reader, the SE, can read a greater range of credentials than ever before and is capable of reading credentials residing on cell phones as that technology becomes more mainstream. Thanks for watching this presentation. For more information, go to the links shown on your screen.